What up, everybody? Welcome back, Broadcast Hoops. I'm Jamal Murphy. Got my guy Chris Walker. I know he's happy. We're talking NBA playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And I already referenced it, but let's get right to it, man. Let's talk about your Lakers.
You mean the new the will be the new champions this year? You talking about?
Here we go. See, this is what I'm saying, man.
What?
Laker fans, they just take it to like crazy levels. Ain't this just the semifinals?
Okay, who was the champion? Who were the champions last year? It was the Golden State Warriors. They're down 3-1, and the ridiculous notion that LeBron James is going to lose three straight games the way the Golden State Warriors did to his Cleveland Cavaliers is blasphemous. And anybody that says it should have their tongue removed. It is not going to happen.
Wouldn't it be poetic justice though?
No, nothing poetic about it. The bottom line is Steph is history. We got rid of it in the bubble. The bubble popped. Now he's about to pop. And hey, I'm not saying it's gonna happen tonight, right? But it
Okay.
damn sure it's gonna happen in the crypt.
Finally, some restraint from the great Chris Walker.
Yeah, it's respect. I'm gonna give the champ some respect.
Now, let's say you lose that game five. Hey, man, the way the Lakers are playing, the way the Warriors are playing, the Lakers could finish it off tonight. You never know. But let's say Golden State wins game five. That game six gonna be a little nervous. You don't think?
It is what it is. It's the first one to four. We got three. Here's what I would tell players when I coach. If you're down by 8 points with a minute and a half to go and they start panicking, I say, guys, look at the scoreboard. Would you rather be up 8 with a minute and 30 to go or down 8 with a minute and 30 to go? So relax. So again, if you're the Lakers, would you rather be down 1-3,
Oh,
right, with a game coming back to Los Angeles? Again, it's the best 2 out of 3 at that point. Or would you rather be up 3-1? No matter what the situation is, you would rather be up 3-1.
yeah, no question. The Lakers are in a good spot. I mean, as a the resident Laker hater, I have to admit it. You guys are in a great spot, 3-1. It's tough for any good team to beat another good team. Three straight games. That's a tall order. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying the series is over.
Oh,
Because like you said, and first of all, if anybody knows, uh, has been through this. It's the Warriors. They've been through it on both sides, as people keep alluding to, and they know as well as anyone. It's one game at a time, so you got to take care of each game as they come. So tonight's the first one. Let's talk a little bit about that big game four, where I was so expecting. I was like, it's a lock. Golden State's going to win this game four. That was my thinking going into it. I was like, they always come through when they have to. When their so-called backs are against the wall, they go into the game. Pretty much had some semi control of that game the whole game. But once it got close, once the Lakers were able to keep it close, like late third quarter, I started to get nervous for Golden State. I was like, I don't like this the way this is going. Like Steph Curry is the only one doing anything for
right.
them. He was the only one producing. But I didn't expect Lonnie Walker
My
to
little
be
cousin,
a savior.
my little cousin. And close to Lonnie Walker again. Had some trouble with San Antonio. Only and the guy's 24 years old. That's what you get when you draft young guys at an early age. You're going to for them to handle all that fame and that responsibility is very difficult, especially in a town like San Antonio. I'm from Texas. I know that. Here's the other part to it. Playing with a guy like Pop, it's going to be hard to please that guy. It's like a freshman or a rookie. I'm sorry, trying to play for Bill Belichick. The bottom line is the Lakers got him a lot when the year started. Trade deadline, the Lakers have had the best record trade deadline. Now, again, that's getting rid of Westbrook and Beverly and those guys. So Lonnie Walker's been kind of thrown in that mix like he was an issue. And again, he was producing and not producing, but it wasn't working. LeBron wasn't playing 80, he was hurt. So there were a combination of things. The bottom line is they had the best record without playing him. So analytically, lineup optimization would say that they're better without him. And all you need is him to show up. Again, he has immense talent. It showed up at the right time. That's what you need. Again, a la baseball. A guy comes in as a pinch hitter and hits a home run, steals a base. That's what happened. Now, can you depend on it every game? No. And I'll tell you this, why he's been a breath of fresh air. D'Lo struggled. That's why this team is good, right? They got Malik Beasley, who's one of the best three-point shooters in the country, doesn't even play. His number's going to be called one day because, to be honest, in this series, Austin Reeves hasn't been great. It goes to
True.
the media. The media loved Austin Reeves in Memphis. He has been struggling, and you never just listen to the commentary. You every once in a while they call him a struggle bunny, but no one talks about him the way they talk about AD or LeBron. And Austin Reeves has clearly been his 3-point shot is a 9-point shot. You see,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's been a little bit the way it's again. You know, he's a guy that you didn't depend on.
Right.
At the end of the day, he's because last game he made some turnovers. I was like, get this dude out the game.
But then he made some big shots late in the game, and with him, you cannot leave him wide open. That's the key. Like he's going to struggle if he has to create his own shot. He might have a game or two where he can do that. But if you play, good D on him, it's going to be tough for him because he's not by far an elite athlete by any stretch of the imagination. But you can't leave him open either.
He's not elite, but he's elusive with the ball. He can
Yeah, he is.
there.
He's slick. He's slick.
Basketball, and he can score it. Not to pound on him because he's been a breath of fresh air for the Lakers. Certainly been a saving grace. But you see, I got my torn shirt on. I'm ripping it up. We are ready to tear. We're ready to tear it up tonight, and we're gonna get it done in the Chase, right there in the little hood that they gentrified where they put the Chase Center.
True.
Go there, and we're gonna take care of business, and it's gonna be over. And El Breezy, Bron, is gonna get some rest. We're getting ready for the.
All right. Well, like I said, you guys are in command. I give, I'm not giving up on Golden State. I give them like a 35-40% chance to come back.
No matter what, LeBron, Joker, Lakers, Nuggets. Who you taking in the 7-game series? Without the AD.
Well, that's a tough. It's a toss up to me right now. Denver's probably looked the best, probably the best of any playoff team so far. They have a complete team. Joker is going to constantly be, even by me, he's going to constantly be underrated to a certain extent, just because of the way he does it. Like, when you go into that Laker game, people are going to be like, oh, AD going to shut him down and all this kind of stuff. We'll see.
Listen, it hasn't happened yet. It's 4-3. I'm sorry, 3-2, 3-1.
Right.
Oh, sir. Lakers, who people thought gave them no chance to make the playoffs. Now, they're playing the number 1 seed in the Nuggets. Wow. And KD, we can move on to the next series because, the Lakers and Warriors, that series is over. I don't care.
Over. Oh, yeah, you're giving no respect to the heart of their champion.
OVA. And Draymond, he wants to join the Lakers anyway. So that series is over. Now, let's move on to KD and the Nuggets. I'm telling you right now, if KD loses this series, they come at that neck, KD. Better figure it out. They coming at that neck.
Even though he was able to scratch up two home wins with Booker, that didn't save him at all. You don't think? Just taking it 7 maybe, that won't save him?
The Denver Nuggets are going to win this game or win at home. Because if the Suns get down, I don't see that. Again, I don't want to criticize KD because he may end up seeing this thing and chop my neck off. But at the end of the day, I don't know if they get down, if KD's that kind of guy. And Booker, again, I love Booker. He's been playing amazing this year.
Great.
But at the end of the day, you just know that if Murray and Joker find a way to close this thing out tonight, right? There's no way they're losing in Denver. They're going for it tonight. So I think both these series in the West are going to end the next few days.
All right. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I think the Suns have a good shot at pushing it 7, but I just don't see them going into Denver. I don't care if it's a game 7. They haven't shown they can do it any of the game. They've had 3 opportunities. One, I guess game 2 was kind of close for a little while, but they haven't shown the ability to do it. And it's because they only got 2 guys. They got 2 guys who you can really count on. And you know how, role players, they perform well at home, but when they go on that road, it's a whole different story. And they just don't have the horses.
No, they don't have the horses. And again, like I said before, man, Landry Shamet, great job. Game 3, 4, with the fourth quarter. I'm sorry, game 4. But at the end of the day, and Landry Shamet is the same thing as is the same performance that Lonnie Walker put on. But you can't count on that. That's acceptable. No. They don't have enough guys. Chris Paul, I don't know if because I'll tell you this: whether he's there, whether he's not there, I don't know. campaign is not the same campaign Cameron Payne of 3-4 years ago that
Right.
the Lakers. And I'm just saying that at the end of the day, I just don't think. But they don't have enough firepower. But they got who everyone says is KD.
Oh, so you challenging KD right now. You want to see if he can win it by himself.
Well, he got Booker, but
True.
LeBron, the criticism would be heavier because he's the king. I love KD, but he ain't the king. So
No,
they got to find a way to get it done. He forced his way out of Brooklyn, and now you're like, hey, we got a stacked team because that's what he likes to do. We should nickname him Stacks because he likes to go to stacked teams. And here's the end of the day, KD. If you want to win a ring, just go and do whatever else. You can't. We can't make it happen, but just go and join the Lakers, man. Just we got AD, LeBron, and KD, and it don't matter who else. They can have me and you, Jamal, and we win the championship.
I hear you. And as a Brooklyn born, Brooklyn resident, you know what I'm saying? I just look at it like, man, KD, you left the Nets to lose in the second round. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You might as well stay and try to build something, man. Come on.
West was tougher. You got to play the number one seed. That's why people talk about reseeding. The West was tougher.
Not a smart decision, KD. All right, let's move to the East. We got a serious one going on in the East. I don't know what you think about this Boston Philly series. 76ers surprisingly to some, took a 3-2 lead over Boston last night. It's funny how these playoff series go, man. Like the you got to take advantage of your opportunities. Boston had a chance to come out to steal one, a very good chance to steal one in Philly in game 4. They should have probably won that game down the stretch, and they let it slip away. And then before you know it, now look, the whole series is switched in one game where Boston doesn't show up, which they're prone to do. We saw this last playoffs where they lost game 5 to Milwaukee at home and had to win game 6 and game 7. And remember, the next series they could have closed out Miami in game 6. They lose that and have to win game 7 to win the series. So that's the only thing that gives me. I'm still picking Boston because I've seen them do this before when they really need to win a game. It feels like that's the only time they show up. So I expect them to show up from the first second of the game in game 6 like they should have last game, and I expect them still to pull it out. I don't know what you think.
Well, here's what I would say. I would say, hey, young coach, Zula first year. So
But Udoka, same thing last year.
But Udoka, I think, is a better coach. So first year, Joe Mazzulla doesn't call the timeout in game 4, and everyone criticized him about that. James Harden hits the shot to win it. And at the end of the day, when you're playing against, when they came back and beat Milwaukee, they beat Giannis. That was great. You're playing against 2 MVPs and a thriving star in Tyrese Maxey with this Philadelphia team that you let get ahead of you. You got the MVP who you have to double. Then you got James Harden, who at any time could be a 50 piece, and you got Tyrese Maxey. So you're doubling Embiid when you got James Harden and Maxey out there. And again, not that they're going to double him, but to guard him one-on-one with who? Horford or Williams? I'm just saying at the end of the day, the roster of Philly may be better. I've never been a Marcus Smart guy, ever.
Wow.
I think drama queen, and I think there's some type of rivalry still between Jaylen Brown and oh my God,
Tatum.
and Tatum. I still think because one guy, this guy gets this many shots. The next game, this guy gets this many shots. I'm like, hold on, man. Who's steering this? Who's running the ship here? Who's steering the boat? Like, what's going on? Who's the captain? And I still think locker room, there's a little bit of, let's face it, Philly had to have a come to Jesus after game 3, and at the end, and then that thing got cleaned up. But at the end of the day, I like going back to Philly. I think, and I used to live in Philly, played in Philly. I think it's going to be very, very difficult for the Boston Celtics to survive. The Sixers, I'm telling you right now, the way this thing is looking, the Sixers and James Harden could end up in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, but and I just, I get the Missoula thing. I get, young coach. He, obviously not perfect. I get all that, but I do feel like people are kind of, and hey, we only can go off what we saw last game. So I get the culture, the media culture of like, oh, what we just saw. Oh my God, like the series is over. But if all you gotta do is, like I said, look back one year where we were feeling the exact same way with Udoka. his teams did the same thing. Like they would relax. I guess so. You got to blame the players. You know what I'm saying? If they did the same thing with both coaches, they get to a game, home game, they're supposed to win and can seal the series, and they relax. And you could tell from the game. As soon as did you watch the whole game when Embiid hit that first shot and it bounced, that first three he took, it bounces up high off the backboard and drops in. I'm like, oh, it might not be the Celtics' day. And then that's the way they came out. Oh, lackadaisical, not fighting through screens. I'm like, what's going on? But in game 3 in Philly, when they won that game, it like that was a whole different team.
But that's the difference between Udoka and Mazzulla. I'm telling you, Ime Udoka is a defensive-minded dude, and defense is what saved their season. The only thing that's going to Boston can score no points. They a bunch of threes. That's the other thing. You're a 3-and-D team. The only thing that saved their season was defense, and the only thing that's going to save this season is defense with 2 MVPs and a thriving star in Tyrese Maxey. That's it. That's the only thing that can save it.
Only thing I'll say, and I'll add this for the Boston cause in terms of what people think and the expectations going into Game 6. A lot of people think Philly close them out. Interestingly enough, Vegas right now, the line for tomorrow's game is Boston -2. Like Boston's a 2-point favorite, which shows you that people still kind of think that Boston's the better team here.
Well, okay, but or they're back against the wall, or they look
True, exactly.
At what happened last year.
Right.
What they did already in Philly.
Right.
And so again, it's still betting. It's for 2 points to me. If it was 6 points.
Oh yeah. It's still yeah. I'm just saying it's interesting that
post game
that Philly is not favored to win at home. Like you would think Philly would be favored.
But Philly already lost the game at home. And again, James Harden. You got to factor all that in. Those guys can implode at any time. Look at Doc Rivers. That dude has his share of. So I think that all the things factored in is how you put the line. Not saying it's going to help them, but right. Philly closes it out. I'm going with James Harden. I'm going with Joel Embiid and my man from Dallas, Tyrese Maxey. And I think they get it done with PJ Tucker. And I just think, and Doc, I always call Doc Shock Rivers. I'll be shocked when he does the right thing sometimes, but I think Shock Rivers finally gets it done.
Yeah, and before we move on, just that the Tatum and Brown thing you mentioned. I don't know if it's a competition, but they're just not consistent enough. Either one of them. Tatum the last 2 games come out, can't make a shot in the first quarter. You know how important that is to set the tone in the game. Come out, make some open shots. And you come out like that, and all of a sudden you find yourself down 10 these last 2 games. Like, come on, you're a superstar. Either one of you are, big time stars. You got to step up.
I'm telling you, man. I still believe Jaylen Brown, who's a great player, wants to be Tatum. Tatum is the guy with the Jordan deal. Tatum is the guy on the Ruffles commercials. Tatum is the face of the organization. Jaylen Brown is still a great player. It's almost like Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Not that Tatum is at the level of Jordan. But Scottie Pippen had to be content being Scottie Pippen. He had to be being Robin. That doesn't mean that he's not going to have Batman moments.
Right.
End of the day, the show is called Batman and Robin, not Robin and Batman. The other little key caveat, I think that's a problem, is Marcus Smart. I really do that. He's not a star. You can give him defensive, all that kind of stuff. To me, I like Marcus Smart. I don't love him. And when things don't go right, he's a powder and a malcontent. And I believe that in that locker room, right, that there are some – and then you got a young coach.
True.
Right? And Mazzulla, I'm assuming he has a different temperament than Udoka, because I heard Udoka is a dude who's a force to be reckoned with, my way or the highway type guy. And I think that's how their season changed last year and how they got to the finals. And I just believe that when you have a situation like that, LeBron, superstar, take LeBron. He has to say, LeBron knows, I'm the greatest scorer in the game, maybe the greatest player. We need AD to win. It doesn't matter if I win MVP. I'm trying to win a ring. And LeBron knows I can get 40 at any time. But I need Austin Reeves to be confident. I need D'Lo to be confident. I need Lonnie Walker to be confident. That's a leader. I need AD. I can't, no matter what I do, even if I get 40, we're going to lose if AD doesn't do anything. Remember the game that the Lakers lost? LeBron had 30-something. They lost. Didn't matter. And that's what Boston is. Tatum is not young enough, and I don't know if he's that type of spokesman to be like, guys,
Right.
Taylor, we need you to do Marcus Smart. It don't matter if you don't score. We got Derek White. I just don't think they have that leadership. I could be wrong. I'm not in the locker room. I think the leadership's not there. Yeah, they got the finals, got the same team, but you start seeing cracks, new coach, stuff that might have been an issue last year they overcame. Don't think they overcome it this year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
James Harden went to Vegas yesterday and didn't get back in time.
which is quite possible. LeBron. Yeah, there's not too many leaders like LeBron in NBA history, of course, and that's people don't even really give LeBron that kind of credit. Like it doesn't really matter. So if he scores 20 points, 10 rebounds, that doesn't account for everything he's doing. Like basically a coach on the floor. As we saw that last play, did you see the video of that last play when Draymond they tried to run that same corner three for Klay Thompson? And LeBron's basically pointing out the switches and for everybody, and they just shut down that play completely. That's just one example of LeBron, having nothing to do with scoring, rebounding, or assisting or any of that. How he's a beast. Last thing on Boston, I'll say is what's up with Robert Williams? He's only getting like 10 minutes a game. It feels like he was a monster last year.
They shoot threes, man. Different concept, different coach.
Right.
He has to spread them out more. Pull Joel in the basket, and who knows? Again, who knows what's going on in that locker room, man? I'm telling you. So at the end of the day, you got to take Jamal. They're the best record they've had since 2017-18. So you can't criticize them that much. They have talent, and the East was decent this year. But the bottom line is they got to win this series.
Yeah, no, they just like that's what I'm saying. It's not over yet. Like people are like, oh, they're gonna jump on Missoula. I'm like, not until he loses that next game. That's when they'll jump on him. Like if you don't get to the same place that you got last year, then it's a failure. But they still got time to win a game or two. So we'll see. We'll just see what happens.
New York Rangers, what did happen last year? They went to what? The finals? What happened?
They got to you're right. They fired the coach. They got to at least the Eastern Conference. I can't remember, but
they fired the coach this year. I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, when Brad Stevens made that move and hired Missoula as a 34-year-old at the time, we all were like, okay, that's he has some balls for that one. So we'll see how it turns out. That was Brad Stevens' decision.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll see.
Let's move to the East, man. The last one in the East, which is this one, I think we both agree is over.
Oh my God! And listen. Dare I say this? Thibodeau may be done. I'm telling you, he may be done. This is his MO. An elite defensive coach, but one of those guys is just like a dentist pulling teeth. I like Jaylen Brown. Great pickup. Josh Hart, great pickup. They got some good pieces. Julius Randle, an emerging star. But Barrett, I'm not crazy about. You know what I'm saying? I just don't believe they're missing that one. I mean, obviously Brunson was a leader. They're missing that one guy. They don't have a Giannis. They don't have a Jimmy Butler. They don't have an Anthony Davis.
Right.
What's that?
No, I'm saying that's right. But so how do you blame Thibodeau for that? Like he doesn't. It's not like he has the horses.
It's not about him having horses, but guess what? He's the elite coach. He's got you put there. He's got to make it happen. I'm sorry. And it's something is missing. Because you can't lose to this Miami team. I'm sorry. Miami got how many dudes did Miami have on their team that weren't even drafted?
And not to mention, hero out.
No hero. I like Jimmy Butler, and he'll be in the Hall of Fame. But Jimmy Butler? Come on, man. And I love Jimmy Butler. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be super critical. But Jimmy Butler? Not Joker. Not Giannis. But it goes to show you the culture of Miami, defense, preparation. And they also have Kyle Lowry. Let's keep it a buck. They got Kyle Lowry, which is another really good player. They got Adebayo. But they got a bunch of others, man. And they play together. They have a great coach, an exceptional coach. And their culture, and cohesiveness. There it is. You can use that on Sunday. Culture, coaching, cohesiveness. Like the preacher says.
Right.
That is Miami basketball right now. And that's why they're winning and thriving. But I'll tell you one thing. It's New York for a reason. They better do something or it's going to get ugly. I'm back.
No, I mean, we'll see what happens in the off season. I don't think they're gonna fire Tibbs because you still have to look at the overall season. There were no expectations for this team. They probably people maybe thought, oh, they might get an 8 seed if they make the playoffs. That'll be a success. So the fact that they won a playoff round against a young Cavaliers team, um, and to me, and I know it's not supposed to be like this. I know it's New York, and who knows how they'll look at it. But the way I look at it, just from a realistic perspective, just watching the game and watching how people are acting out there, this is just a learning experience. These dudes aren't ready. You could just tell, like Barrett doesn't know playoff basketball.
Bro,
Randall barely knows
bro,
playoff basketball.
they
Did
didn't
you see?
start.
Did you see Randall's defensive effort out there?
Okay, but think about this. Think about what you're saying. We're talking about effort in the second round of the playoff to professional players. So what I'm saying is they don't have a superstar.
Right.
They don't. It is what it is. Yeah,
Right.
did they beat Donovan Mitchell? They sure did. But I'd like to have Donovan Mitchell with this team.
Yeah, with this team. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they don't have a dude. They got Jalen Brunson, but man, Jalen, I like Jalen. I love Jalen.
He can't be a number one
Come
guy.
on, man.
Yeah.
Not. I like Josh Hart, role player.
Yeah.
Role player.
Yeah.
New York is the mecca of the world when it comes to entertainment. You need a star.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I agree. So I'm letting Thibodeau off the hook for that. That's all I'm saying.
Nah. We got to get somebody that wants to come play for that coach too.
Mm-hmm. Well,
maybe the star don't want to play for Thibodeau.
And that they have no shooting. That's the thing, right? They have no shooting, but they do got and I'm not like a Fournier fan or anything, but he's a proven shooter. Like you could give him a chance out there.
Ooh.
If like Fournier is on the Knicks bench. I'm just saying, like, you got to try whatever you can, and if you got no shooting, Quickly was hurt last game. You got to try something. That's all I'm saying.
Moved on from him.
I hear you. So you don't give the Heat a chance. I mean, I'm sure you give them a chance, but you don't see the Heat beating either Boston or Philly in that Eastern Conference final.
Nah. Whoever wins that Philly and Boston series will be in the finals.
But we're dealing with Miami now. We always say this. Whoever Miami goes into the series with, we always like, they hurt, and then it turns out to be a 7-game nail biter.
The shoe won't fit on Cinderella when it gets to that next round. The shoe won't fit.
All right.
Clock strike midnight. Turn back into the pumpkin. The whole nine. No.
All right. Before we get out of here, man, I came up with a couple teams, a couple NBA playoff teams I want to get your opinion on.
Okay.
The first one is the All NBA Playoffs Exposed team.
Okay.
The All NBA Playoffs Exposed team. This is my 5 for the All NBA Playoffs Exposed team so far. Jordan Poole at guard.
Yes.
Dylan Brooks at guard.
100%.
Julius Randle at forward.
Yeah.
I had to come up with 5 now.
That's good.
Jared Allen at forward.
Ooh.
He didn't do anything in that series. Yeah. And DeAndre Ayton at center. What do you think about those 5 guys that got exposed?
Those are all really good ones. And you don't have a star on there, so I'm assuming all the stars are doing well.
Enough.
Right? The stars are doing well, but I would say Draymond Green is being exposed. He's just old, and the act is worn out. The act has worn out. Every time, Draymond never fouls anybody. I'm like, Draymond, come on, man. You be fouling like crazy. They just can't call every one, and you'll never play. Jordan Poole is a really good one because he has been in no man's land.
Are you kidding me? I mean, his is ridiculous. Like he had 0 points, 10 minutes.
Bro, that's clearly some problems on those teams. I don't know what it is. Listen, again, you're talking about role players. I'm gonna say Jason Tatum. I'm like, bruh, you got to bring it, bruh. Come on, man. You gotta bring it. This is for all the chips. Again, we're talking about levying criticism equally. If this was LeBron, if this was KD, it would be a wrap. They'd be on them dudes like it would be leading the storyline. Tatum just not a big enough star, and Boston just hasn't. No one thinks of Boston that way, even though they played in the finals last year. So, dude, Jason Tatum's got to play good every game. You don't have a reason to have bad games. You can't have bad games if Boston's going to win. I'm sorry.
They don't back to back, and forget a bad game. Like you can't really have bad quarters like he has had, like halves. First half, 0 points, hardly any points, and then the game right after that, you kind of follow it up the same way. It's very disappointing. My last one NBA. This has been a thing with me. I'm watching. You watch these games closely, and just the flopping is just out of
Oh,
hand.
damn. So who's
It's
your
out of
5?
hand. My NBA playoffs all flop team, and I want the refs to pay attention to this. Watch these dudes closely. Watch these dudes closely. Okay, stop
Okay.
calling. Stop giving them calls. And one of these dudes, I don't think you'll like that
Okay.
he's on this list because it's your boy and all.
You're
But
something else. Keep
but
going.
but at guard, Kyle Lowry. Okay,
Oh my
I mean this
God.
dude, Villanova. That's your Villanova boy. But
He's been
I
doing
seen
that
this
forever.
dude. He will launch himself into the crowd if he thinks he'll
He's
get a
been doing
call.
that forever, man. Veteran soccer
Marcus
move.
Marcus Smart. I know you agree with
100%.
that.
100%.
PJ Tucker. Oh
Oh,
my God, the
100%.
flopping, man. Stop
100%.
it.
Big time flopper.
Here's the one I don't know if you'll like. Anthony Davis. Now you gotta
Yo,
watch
no,
this dude
I agree
closely.
with you.
You watch that. He's elite level though. I give him credit because he does
He's a
that subtle
level
stuff
flopper.
too. Yeah,
Listen. Everyone always thinks he's hurt because he looks like he's hurt. If he walks, if he chews gum, he wincing. Dude, come on, man. Jeez.
nah. And then
Who else?
the last guy at center, Joel Embiid. He's the same way.
Oh
Joel
man.
Embiid is an elite level flopper. Okay.
Listen, I thought you were gonna say breezy, but at the end of the day, I agree with every last one of those. That's a great list right there. You make sure you put that on Twitter because those are the biggest floppers I've ever seen in the playoffs. And they're doing. And listen, people aren't
And
calling.
they're actually good at what they do. That's the thing. They're good floppers too.
Dude, I mean, hey, listen, man. That's why they're good at what they. That's why they're pros.
Right.
And like again, three of those guys you mentioned were all defensive type guys.
Right.
PJ
Right.
Tucker defense,
Right.
Marcus Smart defense,
Right.
Anthony Davis
Anthony
defense.
Davis. Yeah.
So I mean, those guys are defensive guys. Who was the first guy you mentioned?
Uh, who was the first? Lowry. He's up there. I
Another
mean, when
defensive
when
guy.
he's healthy,
Yeah,
he
when he's
is.
healthy, he can't move. That's another reason why he flops so much. He can't move.
That's right.
But I'm just saying, and Embiid, I mean, he's sensitive as hell too. But he think he get some of those guys. They get fouled every single possession. It's exhausting to nauseum. But those are I like those two lists. I'm gonna come up with something next week. I got some good ones.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think of some of them come up with, and you're gonna be like, I like those though. Those are good ones.
All right. So we'll be back next week and we'll see what happens and see if your Lakers close it out like they're supposed to. I guess, even though they playing against a champion, Yeah, but the only thing is, LeBron and AD are champions too. So that it kind of goes.
I mean, I'm glad and let the church say amen. Okay. All right, boy.
All right, Roy. Pleasure. We'll talk next week. Broadcast hoops.
For sure. Peace out.